So, good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice? Say yes or no to me once. So, the last class we are trying to type one application. So, let me type it. Let me repeat the class once. What has been happened yesterday? So, this is the type of application we are trying. DAO stands for Data Access Object, and which is separate layer in web application holding database related codes, which means database related logics or persistent logics. This DAO layer will hold the following database related codes like create operation, insert operation, retrieve operation, update operation, delete operation, and so on. What are the what are the database related operations? We are writing separately. That layer we call it as a DAO layer. Then I'm trying to introduce one class known as bean class. The class which is constructed with the following rules is known as bean class. The rules are nothing but the class must be implemented from java.io.serializable interface. The variables which are declared within the class must be private variables. The class must be declared with zero argument constructor or zero parameter constructor. The class must be declared with getter and setter methods. If you follow these four rules and if you can construct one class, the class by terminology we call it as bean class. These bean classes will generate bean objects. These bean classes will generate bean objects. These bean objects will hold data going on to database product, and these objects also hold the data coming from database product. This is the information I delivered theoretically yesterday, and this is the pattern of layout we are going to construct it. Then I made a statement. In the process of establishing communication between servlet program and database product, the DB jar file must be copied into lib folder of webinf. I made one statement. Right. So these are the statements by yesterday. Now today's classes, let us write one program, the layout. I took one database table yesterday, that is employee 61, having ID, name, designation, basic salary, HRA, DA, and total salary. Today, I'll draw the layout and I'll construct one pattern for today. So all of you can hear my voice. Say yes or no to me once. I'm cross-checking once again. If anybody listening in mobile devices, keep your mobile connected to your headsets. Laptop and desktop means any speakers or something you have to maintain bit clear qualities, and you also should maintain some net quality who are newly joined today. Right. Look here. So our starting home page is here. I'll be drawing, I'll be typing. You have to observe it. I'll take it as home.html. So in this home.html, two options: add employee, one option; view employees. View employees. Two options are available: add employee and view employees. In your HTML, one anchor tag will be there. href, we call it as href. One anchor tag will be there. You have to observe it. Yesterday I started application servlet for employee details. Yesterday, 3 classes I added. I'll repeat it anyway. In web app, I added one javaAdv26 also here. Let me create one HTML file here. Let me create one HTML file. So right click on web app, new HTML. So home.html, home.html, click on finish. In this, I'm taking two anchor tags first time. Add employee, add employee. One more anchor tag is view employees. View employees I'm taking. Add employee href is equal to hyperlink reference is equal to I will link to employee.html. I am linking to one HTML file. So this kind of action you will do anyway. Employee.html from your HTML, CSS, JavaScript training. Your trainer already introduced your anchor tag and href. If I click on add employee, the control will go to employee.html. View employees, href is equal to, I am writing one URL pattern directly here, view, one URL pattern. So here, if we write one URL pattern, directly the control will go to one servlet program. So this is your first one anchor tag linking to employee.html, one URL pattern. The first program you had it. So the name is home.html. Home.html. Then we are constructing employee.html. Employee.html. Under web app means whenever I click on whenever I click on add employee, the control will come to employee.html. Employee.html. From here to here, the control will come. So employee.html, right click on web app, new HTML, employee.html, employee.html. So here I must write some code. Somewhere for me, one predefined code is there. Here one form tag. Just I used one table tag here. I used one table tag in the form tag where action is equal to here. Action is equal to add, I will take it. Method is equal to post. Action is equal to add. I'm taking one table tag here. You know HTML already. I'm taking employee ID, employee name. Input type is equal to test ID. Input type is equal to name. I'm using one options. I'm using designation. You know this select tag, you know already. Select tag. I'm using some designations here, SETME. Basic salary, I'm asking you to enter. HRA, I'm asking you to select tag, whether 0.93% of basic salary or 0.91% of basic salary you are selecting. So DA, you are selecting 63 or 61. So what you are reading now, sir? I am trying to read employee ID. I am trying to read employee name. I am trying to read employee designation. I am trying to read basic salary. I am trying to read HRA. I am trying to read DA. So these are the fields I am reading. Add employee, an option. Right. Now you can see my screen. Can you hear my voice now? Okay. So designation, I am selecting some SE. I will select it. Basic salary, I'll select some 35,000. I'll select it. Now HRA, how I'll select HRA means see there. Employee ID, name is ID. Employee name is name. Designation, if I select SE, the name is designation. Basic salary, I entered. And HRA, I can select any one. Suppose I selected 0.93 HRA 0.93. I'll select. DA, I will select 0.61. I'll select 0.61. I will select. So they are having the names. So each one is having the name. So here ID, here name, here designation, here basic salary. These are the names given in your HTML form. Here HRA, here DA. So whenever we click on add employee, the control should come to one servlet program. The servlet is add employee servlet. Add employee servlet. Running on URL pattern add. Running on URL pattern add. And you know already, whatever the data we submitted, the data will be available in request object. The data will be available in request object. The data is accommodated here. ID is equal to S11. Name is equal to some Alex. And designation is equal to some SE. And basic salary is equal to 35,000 I given. And HRA is equal to 0.93 I given, means 0.93% of basic salary. DA I given 0.61. So these are the fields submitted from HTML form. These are the fields submitted from HTML form, from request. Anyway, response will be there. Like this. Now, this servlet program has to take this ID, name, designation, basic salary, HRA, DA it has to take. Of course, it has to calculate the total salary. So what are the data taken here? Simply one line I'll draw. This servlet will take the total data from your request object. Whenever it has a basic salary, HRA, DA is there. You can calculate the total salary. And we have to create one bean object here. We have to create one bean object. So 0x56. Employee bean object. Employee bean object you have to create. Employee bean object you have to create. Then whatever the data is available from the request, the data must be loaded to bean. From request object, you have to load the data to bean. From request object, you have to load the data to bean. Whenever you are trying to load the data to bean, we are going to use setter methods. We are going to use setter methods. Yesterday, employee bean, one class is there. This has some setter methods are there. The data is going to be loaded here. The data will be loaded here. Employee ID, some S11, employee name, Alex, employee designation, SE, basic salary, 35,000, HRA calculated value will come, DA calculated value will come, and total salary. Like this, the data is loaded to this object. Bean object is going to hold the data. It is having setter methods and getter methods. Right. All of you understood this flow now? So from here, HTML form data will come to request object. From request object, the data should go to bean object. So let me construct up to here. Let me construct up to here. Already bean class object, already bean class constructed. Now I am constructing add employee servlet. I am constructing. So add employee servlet dot Java. Add employee servlet dot Java. So here also post request only will come. HTML form post request only will come. Post request only will come. So we are going to use do post method here. We are going to use do post method here. Do post method we are going to use. Now let me write add employee servlet. Right click on test, new class, add employee servlet. Add employee servlet. Now import java.io, import Jakarta.servlet, import Jakarta.servlet.http, import Jakarta.servlet.annotation at the rate of web servlet of double quotes slash add. We are using one URL pattern add. This is extends from HTTP servlet. HTTP servlet. Here, protected void do post of HTTP servlet request REQ HTTP servlet response RES throws SERVLET servlet exception IO exception. You had it. This method is override method. Right. So what this do post method is doing, the do post method has to take the data and load it onto here. Whenever you want to load it, first you have to read the data to this servlet. So string you have to read ID. So REQ dot get parameter of ID. I'm reading the ID inside. String name is equal to REQ dot get parameter of name. String designation is equal to REQ dot get parameter of designation. Now, basic salary. Int basic salary is equal to integer dot parse int REQ get parameter of basic salary. You have to read HRA. You have to read float HR. I will take. Now float dot parse float REQ dot get parameter of here HRA. I'll take float D. I will take because I must calculate HRA separately again. So float dot parse float REQ dot get parameter of here DA. Now ID name designation basic salary HRDA, but you have to calculate HR separately. HRA is equal to HR into basic salary. Float DA is equal to DA into basic salary. The meaning, I entered 0.93, I entered here. So 0.93 means this is 93 by 100. So 93% of basic salary must take. So I'm using 0.93 into basic salary. I'm using 0.93 into basic salary. So now you have to take your total salary. Float. Total salary is equal to basic salary plus HRA plus DA. Now ID, name, designation, basic salary, HRA, DA, and total salary. Now all the fields are ready now. Now load this data to one bean object. You have to load it. Whenever you want to load the data to bean object, create bean object. So employee bean EB is equal to new employee bean. Employee bean EB is equal to new employee bean. This is bean object. Whenever you want to load the data to bean object, we are going to take the support of setter methods to load it. EB dot, where is this? So EB dot set ID employee ID is equal to ID. We are loading the data to bean. EB dot set employee name is equal to name. EB dot set employee designation. We are loading the designation. EB dot set basic salary. I am setting the basic salary. So EB dot set HRA. HRA we are setting. So EB dot set DA. We are setting the DA. Now EB dot set total salary. We are setting the total salary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 means here loading data to loading data to employee bean object. We are loading the data. Once the data is loaded to employee bean object, the data is here. Successfully, the data is in the bean now. Whatever the data available in the bean, I must send to the database. To send to the database, I am taking one more object here. One more object I am taking. One more object. This object is generated for add employee DAO. Add employee DAO object. I am taking. So whenever we want to add the data to database product, whenever you want to add the data to database product, execute update, execute query. We are going to use execute update method. Execute update method return type is integer. So like this. Now, I am going to write your add employee first. Add employee DAO dot Java. I am writing. Add employee DAO. First I am writing. I'll come back again. Right click on test. New one class. Add employee DAO one class. So in this class now, I am importing java.sql because database code is coming. Here I am taking one variable. public int k is equal to 0. If you don't write 0 also, the default value is 0 only. I'll take one method, public, return type is int. I'll use one method known as insert. I'm taking this employee bean as a parameter. Employee bean as parameter. So it will return some integer k value it returns. So add employee DAO is going to have one instance variable where k is equal to 0. Having one method known as int insert employee bean EB. I am passing parameter. This employee bean object as a parameter. 0x56. This bean object I am passing parameter. Now, here I'll use whenever the database code is coming, we are going to use try catch. Here. Here I am writing one exception. I am writing E. I'll write E dot print stack trace. I'll write it. Here I'll write connection con is equal to db connection dot get con. Yesterday I used one db connection accessing connection accessing existing connection. So here the database connection is established. Prepared statement PS is equal to con dot prepared statement. Here insert into employee 61 values. So we are creating one prepared statement, and you can expect one insert into employee 61 values. Now, whatever the data available in the employee bean, we are loading to prepared statement object. PS dot set string parameter index 1 eb dot get id ps dot set string parameter index 2 eb dot get employee name ps dot set string 3 employee bean dot get employee designation ps dot set int parameter index to eb dot get basic salary ps dot set float parameter index 5 eb dot get hra ps dot set float parameter index 6 eb eb dot get da. Now ps dot set float parameter index 7 here eb dot get total salary. The meaning of this code is whatever the data is available in the bean object, we are loading into prepared statement object. Here, JDBC visual should come. So finally, K is equal to PS dot execute update. The data is updated. Right. Data is updated. Now, how many now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. Whatever the data available in request object through insert, we are loading the data to prepared statement object we are loading. And after prepared statement object, we are using execute update. If it is updated successfully, K value will be modified to 1. K value will be modified to 1. Once the K value modified to 1 now, the modified K value you must give back to the servlet. Return this value to servlet. Servlet has to take this value. So k value will be given to servlet. Now this k value will check it. Now here servlet will check k value greater than 0 or not, it checks. Whenever greater than 0, then it gives a response. JSP response. Add employee.jsp. Now the response will be given by the JSP. How the response will come? Anyway, you know that config object, request object, I drawn anyway, I'm not drawing it. So employee added successfully. One message. And here again home.html will come. Home.html should come. Because if you want to add one more employee, you can add it. This is output. But here in the background, one DAO layer is there, no? This diagram, I'll draw because in online, whether you are catching or not, I don't know. Especially offline students who are coming to online, for you, comfortness will not be there. So this background layer diagram, I'll draw separately anyway. Up to here, the information is, again, I'll repeat tomorrow, don't worry. The data loaded into request, the loaded into bean. From bean, we'll pass the parameter to insert method. Through insert method, we loaded the data to prepare statement object. Through prepare statement object, the data is updated to database. If the data is updated to database, k will be 1. Return that k value to your servlet. Now, how it returns to servlet means the servlet program will create here add employee DAO AED is equal to new add employee DAO. I'm creating object. Now add employee DAO dot insert. I'm passing employee bean as a parameter. Return type of this method is integer, int k, integer. So in the servlet program, we are getting all the details from request, creating bean object, loading the data to bean object, creating DAO object, add employee DAO object, and calling the method and passing the bean. This method will return one value. K is 0 now, 1 now. If k is equal to 1, if k greater than 0, if it is true, here. Now I'm forwarding the request to like this request dispatcher rd equal to req dot get request dispatcher, forward the control to add employee dot JSP. Now rd dot request quest. Now rd dot forward, rd dot forward, request and response. I am forwarding the control to add employee dot JSP. This add employee dot JSP, we are writing add employee dot JSP. To run the program web.xml anyway. Okay, right. So add employee dot JSP under web app, new one JSP, add employee dot JSP. Here one scriptlet. Here I am writing out dot print ln employee added successfully. Employee added successfully. Then percentile at the rate of include file is equal to here home.html. Again, we are keeping the control to home.html. In JSP, just messages only, responses and message. That's all. Now this is home add employee.jsp. Under webinf here, right click, new, other. Here I am taking XML, web.xml. Click on finish. So web app, welcome file list. Welcome file. Here home.html. Home.html. So this is a program. So let me run it once and cross check. Run as, run on server. Click on finish. Add employee S11. Employee name I'll take Alex. Anyway, I'll select SC. Basic salary some 35,000 I'll select. Here 0.93, 0.61. Add employee. Employee added successfully. Whether employee added or not. Select star from employee 61. So employee ID, name. Where is designation? Designation is missing here. Somewhere I made. So basic salary, HRA, DA, adding this one. So designation here, empty value is coming. Okay, right. So anyway, the program is running. Let me cross check the designation once. Employee.html. DESG designation. Here I not given SC. I forget it. Can you see this SC? I forget it. Because there is space keep. Here I not written them. I forget it. T and ME. You'll get the answer. All of you understood my mistake, what I done? I written here, I forget to write here. So space record it. Anyway, just I used one table tag only, remaining all I'm not using. You can do some coloring and do, you can do. Okay. So this is the program. Hope if anybody not followed this program, need not worry. Tomorrow I'll repeat very clearly when I come back to offline. Just I want to produce one code. I'll give the code to you once. I'll add this diagram also. It will be re-explained by tomorrow to you. All of it clear? If anybody not followed, tomorrow it will be more clear. Right. Take a break. Thank you very much for today. Just run the program and come.